guys, today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts, opinions, and feels on Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas, as if you couldn't have guessed because of my background here. This is the fourth book in the Throne of Glass series, and I've done reviews on all of the books, so if you guys would like to hear my thoughts on this series, I will leave links down below to those videos. I'm going to first start out by sharing some of my non-spoilery thoughts on Queen of Shadows, and then I'm going to be diving into a spoilery section because I've got a lot to talk about. So much happens within this book, so we're going to talk about it today. I'm still kind of in the middle as to how I felt about this book. I'm really still unsure, and I just can't figure out if I loved it, because a part of me just absolutely loved it and I found it exciting and compelling, and then another part of me was like really unhappy with how certain things went down. I love Sarah J. Maas and I think that she is a fantastic writer, but to me, the characterization just felt completely off within this book. I'm not going to say which characters felt off to me because that is kind of a spoiler, but I will discuss it more in the spoilery section. As for the plot though, this book was super exciting. So much happens within this book. It's so weird to think about this series and to think about Throne of Glass and where everything started and just how completely different the story is now. I feel like the story is just at such a bigger scale now than it was in Throne of Glass, and it's just so crazy to think about Throne of Glass. Something that I will say is that I would highly recommend reading The Assassin's Blade before you dive into Queen of Shadows, because there are so many references from things that happen in The Assassin's Blade within Queen of Shadows, and I think having read The Assassin's Blade, your reading experience with Queen of Shadows will be enhanced. I think that's all I can say without spoiling you guys, so I'm going to dive into a spoilery section now. If you have not read the Throne of Glass series, I would highly recommend it. Things are getting real interesting within this series, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So if you have not read Queen of Shadows, go away, go read it, and then come back. If you have read Queen of Shadows, let's discuss, because there's a lot to discuss. So, what the heck is going on with Chaol? What the actual heck? What happened to Chaol? Who is he anymore? His character was so off for me in this book. He was not the same, and I'm still a little bit heartbroken over it, because I was reading this book and I was just like, but where's Chaol? Where is he? What happened? Also, Chaolina is basically dead. Like, that ship, it's crashed. It crashed and it's sinking to the bottom of the ocean. And I'm so upset about it. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about it because I need to talk about it. I get that people say that Aelin was completely done with him after what happened with Nehemia, but like, what about that Crown of Midnight ending? Like, they were on good terms at the end of Crown of Midnight. You can't say they weren't, because they were. They were on good terms. And I know that Aelin being away from Chaol and Heir of Fire made her question her feelings about him, but in this book, it just felt like she was completely done with him and didn't want to have anything to do with him at all, not even like a friendship or anything. And we also kind of see this with Chaol. It seems like he doesn't want to have anything to do with Aelin either. But like, that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me at all. I wish we would have at least had some kind of scene between the two of them where they just talked it out and maybe together realized that they just weren't meant to be. I would have been so okay with that. But we don't have that. We just have them being like, I'm done with you, later. Obviously, you do not have to agree with me. I know that I have a very unpopular opinion. I have an unpopular opinion about Chaol in general. I love Chaol. He's my favorite character. We're all allowed to have our own opinions, and this is just my opinion. I'm just rather upset with how things went down with Chaol in this book. We do have a few moments where I feel like Chaol's character does shine through within this book, but for the most part, he just felt like a completely different person within this book, and that was unfortunate to me. I guess Chaol is with Nezran now, which is cool. I'm okay with that, but like, I want to know more about Nezran, because to me right now she's a very dry character and we don't know too much about her, and I just want to know more about her. She was just kind of like there in this book, and we need to know a little bit more about her until I'm okay with Chaol being with her, because, you know, I must approve all of Chaol's love interest. They must go through my approval, and then it's gonna be okay, and then maybe I will ship them. But for now I'm just like, can we get to know you a little bit more? So did anyone else basically want to just cry every time we had a Dorian chapter? Because holy crap, his chapters were just so sad. Every time we get one of his chapters, I'm just like, come on Dorian, pull through. I know you're in there somewhere. You just gotta break through this. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Please come back to us, Dorian. So how does everybody feel about Aelin and Rowan? How does everybody feel about that relationship? Because I'm still a little bit unsure. Obviously, I'm okay with Aelin doing whatever she wants, going after whomever she wants, because it's her life. She can do what she wants to do. I will admit though, after Heir of Fire, I was rooting for a platonic relationship. I just wanted them to be friends forever. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? I just wanted them to be friends, but it's clear that we're getting a little bit of a steamy relationship between the two of them. I'm just still up in the air about this pairing. I just felt like their relationship was rather rushed in this book. Again, just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, or you can totally agree with me. Things just seemed to escalate super quickly, and I was just like, whoa, can we slow things down a little bit? But whatevs, I'm never really a fan of the romancy bits unless it involves my ship. And obviously my ship has sunk. I freaking loved the reintroduction of Lysandra's character within this book. Holy crap! In the Assassin's Blade, we pretty much grow to despise her, but I freaking loved her so much in this book. She makes this epic comeback, and she's completely transformed into this amazing character, and just bless! Seeing these two girls who hated each other completely turn that around and be like the best of friends was just such an awesome thing to see, and we need more friendships like that in young adult literature, because we don't have enough girl friendships in young adult literature where the two are just completely supporting each other and being there for each other. We need more of that. We need more. It was so good to see that. So refreshing. Also, the fact that she's a shapeshifter just makes her 100 times more awesome. And friends, I may have built a new ship within this book. How does everybody feel about Aiden and Lysandra? Anybody else? Is anybody else board in my ship? Are we gonna fly that banner that says, what's their ship name? What is it gonna be? Lysandrion? Yes. Yes, all aboard the Lysandrion ship, it's taking off today. Another character that I wasn't expecting to like in this book, but I just absolutely fell in love with within this book, is Manon. I hated Manon's sections in Heir of Fire. I just found them so boring, and I just didn't care about her character, but I freaking loved her in this book. Her sections were so interesting to me in Queen of Shadows. I think the introduction of Alide might have helped those sections to become a little bit more interesting, because I found Alide's character just to be so fascinating, and I loved the introduction of her character within this story, and I can't wait to see more from her in the future books. Also, we have this epic and intense meeting between Manon and Aelin in this book. How did you guys feel about that? Because that just had me going but I like the fact that Aelin saved her and that Manon repaid her with the message about Dorian. I just want them to be friends. Like, can Manon and Aelin just come together and be best of buds? I would really like that. I hope that that happens. The Aiden rescue was just so intense and crazy and nuts and awesome, and basically that whole section I was just screaming, and they're reunited and Aelin saves him, and it was just so awesome and crazy and just it was intense though. Like, I was like shaking and screaming and crying during that section. I wasn't crying, but I was like and they're about to make it away, and then all of a sudden Dorian comes out of nowhere, and I'm just like, baby Dorian, what you doing there, brother? What are you about to do? And it was so heartbreaking when Aelin was just like, Dorian, just show me one piece of you. Just show me that you're there. Just show me that you're really there, that you're inside this person. Show yourself. Show your true self. And when Aelin is about to kill Dorian, she raises that sword and she's about to take him out. I thought Dorian was a goner. I was getting teary-eyed. I was shaking. I was just, I was freaking out during that scene because I was convinced that she was gonna take out Dorian. And I was just like, is this really happening right now? Is this really happening? Thank the Lord it doesn't end up happening and everybody's okay. But oh my gosh, in that moment, I was having a heart attack. Can we talk about Lysandra killing Arobynn? Like, that whole scene made me so nervous building up to it, because in my mind I was like, Arobynn is a trickster. He knows what he's doing. He can tell when people are tricking him. I kind of figured that Arobynn was gonna turn it around and kill Lysandra, and I was not okay with that. But praise bless, Lysandra kills that psycho boy. I was so emotional when Aelin reveals to Lysandra that she's paid off her debts. It was just such a nice scene in their friendship. I can't. The ending of this book was just madness. So much was happening all at once, and I just was not able to like sit there and take it all in. I had to take breaks during the ending because I was just like, so much is happening. I had to walk around the room, pace a little bit, and pull it together and keep reading because holy crap, just so much happens. The face-off between Chaol and the king, and the whole time we're just thinking, Chaol's dead, Chaol's dead, Chaol's dead, Chaol's dead, because, you know, because Sarah just took her time to reveal the fact that he was still alive. Thanks a lot, Sarah, for all the stress you put me through. We have Dorian back, which I'm so happy about. I was just so relieved by that. that. The king has been killed. Magic is freaking unlocked. Like, what even? That just has me even more excited for the next few books because we've got magic now. Magic is freaking unlocked. I am just so excited to see what's next for this series. So that's all I really have to say about Queen of Shadows. This book was a freaking wild ride. I knew it was going to be, but I was still stressed throughout this whole book. Thankfully, my babies are all okay. Even though a couple of them are a little bit wounded, they'll be okay though. They'll get healed. Hopefully. My ship is kind of dead, but you know, there's always the possibility that Aelin will come back and be like, maybe I want to be with Chaol. Maybe I want to be with him. So, you know, we'll hold on to that hope, but at this point it's really doubtful, and I'm okay with Chaol being with somebody else. I just want Chaol to be happy, and I want Aelin to be happy, but I wanted them to be happy together, you know? Am I alone in this? Am I alone in wanting Chaolina forever? Either way, I'm really excited to see what's next for this series. You guys should let me know down below what you thought of Queen of Shadows, what was your favorite moment. Also, please don't hate on me for having an unpopular opinion. It is a-okay to have an unpopular opinion, and it's okay to have a popular opinion too. Whatever you feel, that's okay. Either way, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Later. That whole scene made me so nerved.